Hello, everyone. We are super excited for you to join us tonight. We are starting exactly at the top of the hour at 6 p.m. So we have one more minute to go. We are just giving people a couple of more seconds to join us before we start. All right, everyone. It is exactly 6 p.m. So in the Air Force, we say we start on time and we end on time. So I am Dr. Ebony Grey, and I am joined by the prestigious Dr. April Dobson. And today we are talking about future focus, mapping your 2025 success strategy. This is part two. So I'm going to allow Dr. Dobson to introduce herself. Go ahead.
So, good evening, everyone. Thank you again for joining us online from whatever part of the world you're joining us from. I'm excited. One of the things that I focus on is helping people to discover and pursue their purpose. So I help to propel people into their purpose. And part of mapping a strategy that's going to allow you to be successful in 2025 is ensuring that you have a clear vision and that you've articulated that in writing in some form or another. So if you have not already pulled out a notepad, if you have not already pulled out a pen, then I ask that you do that. If you're taking notes on your iPad, your laptop, your desktop, or other form of technology, then you can continue to do it in that manner as well. The key is just getting it in writing. So we are going to go ahead and get started. And thank you all again for joining us live. And if you don't mind, type in the chat, post a comment where you are joining us from. We would love to hear from you. So if you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're joining us from today, LinkedIn, we invite you to type where you're connecting from in the chat. And we do invite you to like and share as we have some impacting information that's going to help you to set your strategy for 2025.
Yes, we are super excited. Many people often ask me, well, how are you so organized? How do you accomplish so much, right, in your day to day? And one of those strategies is effectively creating my strategic plan for each year. So this year, we are starting out with a bang, right? Our strategic plan and success strategy for 2025 with clear objectives of clarifying our vision for the year, setting those strategic, achievable goals, and creating a roadmap for our personal and professional success. And just to give an example, my goal for 2025 is to essentially earn 25 million in government contracts. In order to do that by December 31st, 2025, because you always need to have a date, right? I will earn 25 million in government contracts by 2025. So how do I plan to achieve that? Now I'm going to set strategic goals. So I need to earn at least 6.5 million in contracts per quarter. So what does that mean? I need to submit about 3 to 4 contracts per quarter to achieve that $6.5 million goal so I can get to my ultimate goal of 25 million plus, right, by December 31st, 2025. What are some other goals I need to put in my milestones? So it may be I need to develop strategic partnerships, right? So I have 3 distinct government contracting teams that I can rely on and partner with in order to pursue those government contract goals, as well as what agencies do I need to reach out to, right? So I have distinct agencies. Let's say right now, Department of Defense is hot. Right now, the state of Maryland is hot with opportunities. Pennsylvania or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and California is hot with opportunities. So, what distinct agencies or locations do I need to focus on in order to achieve my goals? And then also, perhaps I need to attend like one or two procurement events, right? Each month. So that's also part of my objective. In order to get to that $25 million goal, I have to take these distinct steps. I need to attend at least one procurement event each month. I need to develop strategic partnerships. So I have my 3 partners, right, in order to achieve my goals. And I need to identify at least 3 to 5 agencies that I want to pursue, right? Look at their procurement forecast, connect with, and also submit those contracts to in order to achieve my overarching or overall goal for 2025. So you see, it's very measurable, it's very achievable because I'm not just doing it alone, but I'm also very focused on my goal and not all over the place.
Right. And so Dr. Gray just gave all of you the framework. She indicated what her goals are for calendar year 2025. She indicated the timeline. She indicated the different milestones that she was going to need to achieve in order to do that. And she, has a roadmap. So today we appreciate you, Megan, Joe Reddix, and everyone else who's joining. We don't have an opportunity to highlight everyone. But today, from this webinar, you'll be able to clarify your particular vision for yourself for calendar year 2025. We'll give you the strategies that are necessary to ensure that you can create a specific strategic plan for yourself so that within those large overarching goals, you can have smaller goals that are achievable with the milestones. And then also it's going to give you an opportunity to create a clear roadmap that will allow you to succeed both professionally and personally. So we're going to go ahead and now that we've talked about the outcomes for our webinar today, we want to give you some insight on vision. And of course, if you want to achieve anything, you first have to have the vision for what it is that you want to achieve. And so you have to ensure that you have that vision written down in some manner. So like I said before, if you haven't already pulled out a notepad, a journal and pen or pencil, or have a mobile device or, an iPad, a desktop, a laptop to, create your notes on and to, actually annotate everything on, you want to go ahead and grab that now. But we're going to focus primarily on 2 parts of the definition of vision, because I think these concepts are so important. And so a vision is a thought or a concept or an object that's formed by the imagination. So you have to take a moment. You have to clearly in your mind see what it is that you want to achieve. You have to know where you're going. It's not possible for you to arrive at a destination if you do not intentionally set a planned place that you want to arrive, right? And then another portion of vision is being able to have a manifestation to the senses of something immaterial. And so everything that we see came from something that we didn't see. And so if you want something in your life, you've got to build a life that you want. Has anyone here ever gone through the process of constructing a new home? So if you have, like me, I've gone through that process a few times. And if you've ever done that, it starts with the blueprint. So you have to have a clear blueprint of where you're heading, what you want to achieve in order to make those necessary steps. And we're going to get into the vision statement here in a little bit and some vision statement tips here in a little bit. But I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Gray to talk a little bit more about vision and the importance of vision.
Yeah. So again, once you have the vision, right, now you know what steps you need to take in order to achieve that vision. So let's say that your vision is to purchase a home. So let's make that measurable, right? Let's put a date on that. So my plan is to purchase my second home or to invest in my local or commercial property by August 2025. So I plan to invest in commercial property by August 2025. So in order, that's my vision, right? And the overall vision is I want to purchase that commercial property in Baltimore, Maryland by August 2025. And I want that property to be transitional housing for women veterans to help them to transition into more permanent housing. So I want to offer workforce development. I want to make sure that I'm connecting them to all the supportive services in order to achieve that goal of getting permanent housing. And I want to make sure that we have mental health resources and other veteran resources for these women veterans. So that's my goal, that's my mission, that's my vision by August 2025. In order to do that, though, right, I have to walk myself through the journey. What type of finances do I need? What commercial properties are available in Baltimore? What type of connections and support do I need in order to achieve that goal by 2025? So, my ultimate vision, I want to give a safe space for these women veterans, right, in this transitional housing. But in order to do that, first, I have to acquire the housing. So the housing part is by August 2025. But we all know realistically, in order to establish that program, the overall vision, that's going to take me a little longer. So let's say that's by January of 2026 that ultimately I'll start that transition house. That's my vision. So now I have a purpose, I have a why. So many times we just have all these thoughts, right? That we want to accomplish, but you don't have a clear vision. It could be something simple, like we're dealing with a federal transition, right? So many people are thinking about, what does my future look like? Oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? So maybe your vision is, I plan to retire by June 2025. In order to achieve that vision, what do you need to do step by step to be able to retire? Or maybe it's, I plan to find a new job, right, by June 2025 in the private sector. Cool. That's your vision. What steps do you need to achieve in order to accomplish that overall vision?
Absolutely. And we would be remiss if we did not ask you all, because we are specifically in future focus and we want you to focus on your future. We want to ensure you all are successful. So if you don't mind, go ahead and type in the chat at least one goal that you plan to achieve in 2025 and what's the date that you plan to achieve it by. Put it in the chat. Also, make sure that you have it annotated on whatever you're taking notes with. And as you're doing that, Dr. Gray and I are going to talk about some essential elements of your vision statement and articulating your vision statement to help you to achieve your goal. So you want to ensure when you're crafting a vision statement that it is succinct. It doesn't need to be a full paragraph. It should be a succinct statement that clearly articulates and identifies your desired outcomes. So if it is purchasing a new rental property, that has at least 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and it is within the Tampa metropolitan area, and you want to do that by October 31st, 2025, it needs to be clearly articulated. If you have a desire to start a nonprofit organization that helps homeless families to be able to transition into housing and set a budget and, ensure that they are financially prospering, and you want to do that by December 31st, whatever it is, go ahead and articulate what that is in the chat and on whatever you're taking notes on. But again, those vision statements should be very clear so that you have something that you can target. And we'll talk about what's necessary after you have a clear vision statement. So thank you, Megan, for putting in the chat that you're planning to open a business development center by December of 2025. The only thing that you need is the day in December. So because there's 31 options, right? So be sure to, put the specific date in December, because that'll help you ensure that you're on track to achieve that. And when you're establishing milestones, you'll be able to back that date up by the significant milestones that are necessary. So Dr. Ebony, please, share with our attendees what else you'd like to, add regarding crafting vision statements and the importance of vision statements.
Yes, so we're making this real time, right? So Megan put out, the goal is to open a business development center, and let's just say for good measure by 12/31/2025. But in order to walk that journey, right, to a business development center, first of all, what's the location, right? So open a business development center, let's say in Atlanta, Georgia, or what's the community, right? Because Atlanta might be a large place. So open a business development center in this distinct location by 12/31/2025. Then what type of resources or partners do you need? So in order to have a business development center, you need SBA. SBA needs to be on your side. What business opportunity centers are around you? What type of people would you want on your board, right, to serve in that business development center? It could be, right, financial development people. So you want some bankers, you want some people that can help connect people to loans. You may want the business plans, right? Resource partners like SCORE, Small Business Development Center, again, the business opportunity centers. Who do you need around you, right? In order to not only make this happen, but to validate yourself, to build that trust factor. Who do you want to serve? So I know the DEI initiatives, right, have all been disbanded. Okay, but who do you want to serve in the community? Do you want to serve um, minority business owners? Do you want to serve small business owners? You know, who distinctly do you want to serve with your business development center? So that can help you kind of take it step by step to outline your overall vision. And I also would go back to why, right? I want to open this business development center to support small owned businesses, right? To help them be sustainable, to help them earn XYZ profit. But going back to your why do you want to open this business development center? That's important because as you get discouraged sometimes, right? Sometimes things don't go your way. Sometimes there might be roadblocks. You go back to your why, right? Maybe it's you. Maybe you said, look, I struggle. I didn't have resources. I didn't have the support. So I want to establish this business development center in my community because I want to offer the support and resources that I didn't get when I was establishing my business.
And, you know, Dr. Gray said something really important. You might encounter some roadblocks. And so that's why it's important to have your vision clearly articulated, because if you do encounter roadblocks, it's not that it didn't work. It's just that approach towards achieving, you know, your vision may not have worked. So you may need to change an execution strategy, but your vision remains the same, right? And allows you to focus on, like Dr. Gray said, why you're doing what you're doing and why it's important for you to continue with that initiative. And so it's very important, as we talked about, having a clear blueprint. You know, anytime there are any home or building or any structure that's erected, before that takes place, you have a clear blueprint. It has an outline of where all the windows are, where all the doors will be. So in order to get to, you know, what you see, what's materialized into a home or a retail center or a business development center, whatever it is, you have to have the blueprint first. So have your clear vision, make sure it's concise, and you want to target it to specifically your appropriate audience. You want to target to your why of why you're doing it. And so you want to ask yourself some critical questions. And before we go into those critical questions, I have a video that we're going to play. So just a moment, and we're going to watch a video on vision.
It's also a visual reality of your purpose then. It is when you see what you were born to do. Vision is foresight with insight that is based on hindsight. It's a combination of your past colliding with the present and taking you into the future. Vision needs a perspective. Your training and your preparation in your past is important. God many times will guide you to your future by giving you a past that prepares you. Understanding how to seek the kingdom.
So hopefully, I just want to hear in the chat one thing that you were able to gain from that video. So we saw that quick video that was on vision, talked about being able to collide your past with your future and how it ties into purpose. So what did you all, just one thing that you all had as a takeaway from that short video clip? And as you're putting that in the chat, we're going to take a look at some questions. We'll look at some critical questions that you need to ask yourself, when you're thinking about your vision. Who are you? Why are you here? What were you born to do? Where are you from? And we're looking into the fact that we all were created for something. What can you do? What are the talents that you have? What potential do you have? And where are you going? Where are you heading? All of these things are important when you're thinking of vision. So what's something that you believe answers any of these questions and something that you were able to take away from our short video clip?
And that's important, right? As you ask yourself these questions, like, who are you? So I know in the midst of the storm, right? Everything that we're going through today, I think this is very relevant to think, who are you, right? How are you going to take your power back and move forward with what's going on? So I can say, I'm the executioner, right? I'm the person that if you need somebody on your team or in your life to help you walk off that ledge and get things done, that is my gift, right? Some people don't like that, right? Some people like to stay stuck and like to run in circles, and they don't necessarily like to execute, and that's okay, right? That's, you leave them exactly where they are. But I know that I'm an executioner. I know that I am going to get things done. So my way of taking back my power in 2025 is to educate the community, just like we're doing tonight, on how to build, how to plan. If you are pivoting from the federal government, my job is to hold workshops and seminars and to speak and teach you how to pivot from the federal government into the private sector, or guess what, into retirement, right? How can you best prepare for the what next? As far as entrepreneurs, not only do I want to help myself to get to that $25 million mark, but I want to build a millionaires club, right? So my job is to work and support other entrepreneurs to get to that next step, to get to their road to millions, to educate them on government contracting or how to develop their business, how to define, right, their business, to create that business plan, how to get connected to financial resources, how to even sustain their business. Because a lot of times we have ideas, but how do you put that all on paper, right, in order to say, these are my business goals, these are the resources I need, these are the finances that I need in order to run my business. Here are the revenue streams that I need for my business. That's my gift. That's my goal. I am going to help you to execute, help you to pull out your vision, so that way you can achieve each of the goals step by step. That's what I do. That is my purpose. No one can take that purpose away from me. But what does that look like, right, in 2025? So my job, my goal is to clearly define that, right? And outline that vision and outline those goals step by step. So that way I continue to check off my checklist, right, of my goals and milestones that I want to achieve for 2025. So that could be, right, my goal is to reach at least 5,000 diverse business owners, to help them to learn about business and government contracting. And I plan to do that. I'm going to hold at least one workshop a month on government contracting and business development. I'm going to attend at least one networking event each month in order to make sure that I'm reaching out to business owners, that they get to know me. And I'm going to hold one-on-one sessions, right? I'm going to schedule at least 5 one-on-one sessions with business owners to help them with strategic planning. So that's very clear, right? As far as how I'm going to achieve my ultimate goal of reaching those 5,000 business owners to help them get to that next level in their business.
Absolutely. And, one of the things that we talked about is being able to envision what it is that you want to achieve so that you can ensure that you create a strategy. And so thank you so much, Dr. Gray, for talking through that process of, who you see yourself as, what you can do, what you offer to other people, and where you're going. And, we asked earlier for people to put in the chat something that they took away from that short video clip. And I love Megan's synopsis that you have to see yourself where you want to go. And like I said at the offset, you're not going to arrive at a desired destination without first, seeing yourself there, without first making the intent that that's where you want to arrive. So that's why we ask for you all to take out your notepads, take out your iPads, your laptops, whatever it is that you're going to use to take notes, so that you can have everything written down so that you can go after and achieve what you're desiring to achieve. And so we're going to talk about your specific 2025 vision. So this is the time for you all to ensure that it's on paper. So what is your objective for this calendar year? And how does the objective that you have align with your purpose, passion, and desire? So those are the things that you want to think about. So maybe you talked a little bit about it earlier in the chat. So what is it that you want to achieve in 2025 that aligns with your purpose, passion, and desire? There may be a lot of things that you have on your list to achieve this year, but you want to focus on the large overarching things, the things that align with purpose, passion, and desire. And so in order to create that execution strategy, you have to first know what it is that you're wanting to achieve. And so we'll talk about the approaches to do that, and we'll be able to allow you to craft your own execution strategy for what you have a desire to do this calendar year. And so I want you to take the time to write it down, get it written. And then once you have it ready, then you're going to put it in the chat. And then we're going to give you a process that you can use to create some milestones and some action steps. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Ebony as I'm looking at the chat just to see what you all have shared in the chat in terms of what you have planned. Yesterday we had quite a few things that people wanted to achieve. And so we're excited to encourage and support you all, but we're going to get through that execution strategy process here in just a little bit.
Yes, and I just want to give a shout out. So, hey, Nina, how are you, Katisha? Thank you so much for showing up and supporting. Hey, Tanda, I saw you as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you showing up, supporting us during this live. One thing about your execution strategy, you have to have that vision for 2025. So what is your vision? What is it that you hope to accomplish? And I will tell you, it doesn't matter who's in office, right? It doesn't matter who's in leadership. It doesn't matter who's your director at your agency or your corporation. What is your vision today? What is it that you want to accomplish today? Again, it could be, I just want to wake up, right? I just want to get through the next day. That's fine too. But I see Katisha, she said, I want to open up my catering business in the next 30 days. That is very measurable, right? And I know you personally, so I can say, right, you are already going through chef school, right? You've already identified the property that you want to invest in order to open up your catering business. So you've already accomplished, right, 2 of the big milestones towards opening up your catering business in the next 30 days. So you see how not only is it actionable and measurable, you're already taking the steps. A lot of times you might say, oh, I want to open up a catering business and don't do anything about it. No, you're actually taking those steps to walk through to actually accomplish. So my only question to you would be, when is the grand opening, right? Like, let's start planning and scheduling the soft grand opening to your catering business. But again, you have very clear goals and visions for 2025. and it aligns with your skill set. It aligns with your passion and your purpose. It's not my purpose, right? As much as I do love to cook from time to time, that is not my dream or my purpose. That's another thing. You don't have to be like everybody else,
No.
right? Your role could be, I just want to be a present mother for my child in 2025, right? I want to show up and then go step by step to say, well, how do I achieve that particular goal? So maybe it's ensuring that you schedule quality days with your child, right? Every Saturday is just time for you to cut off all the electronics, right? Because electronics is a distraction, and just be present in your child's life to do things that they love every Saturday. Maybe go to the museum, maybe go get some ice cream, go to the park. But every Saturday, I am going to be present in my child's life. I'm going to make sure that I have work-life balance and only work from, let's say, 9 to 5. So that way I'm home to help my child do their homework after school. I'm going to make sure that we sit down and eat dinner every day together, right? Like every night, I'm going to make a point that by 7 o'clock, everything shuts down. I'm going to cook dinner and we're just going to sit at the table and spend time together. Or I'm going to set aside this particular time to help my child with homework every night. Or maybe in the morning times, like every morning, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. I'm going to make sure that, I get my child's lunch and everything together, that we have that car ride to school, and we take that time to just check in with each other. How are you feeling, right? What do you have planned for today? How can I be more present? Like, just ask those questions. And guess what? You also can ask the child, how can mommy or daddy be more present in your life? But that could be a goal, because I know sometimes as parents, you're just trying to figure it out, right? Sometimes you're trying to keep your head above water. But when we talk about these goals, don't just think about work, because we always want to make the goals for work. I want to get the promotion. I want to get my next job. But what about personal? Maybe it's be more present in your marriage.
Right.
You may say, okay, I'm going to be more present in my marriage in 2025. So I'm going to purposely schedule date nights with my spouse once a week, right? Just shut everything down and just focus on us. So that way we can better connect and be present. That is a clear vision, right, for your relationship or for your marriage.
Right. And we're going to talk a little bit later when we get into some of the areas that you're going to specifically create a vision board for. So you do want to think about various aspects of your life. And I want to go back to something that someone put in the chat, Katisha, regarding opening a catering business in the next 30 days. And, because we're going to get into talking about the execution strategy. And like I said before, when you look at the execution strategy, this is when you have an opportunity to determine the specific approach or the specific manner in which you're going to go about achieving your desired goal or your objectives. So because Katisha scheduled has this goal clearly defined for the next 30 days, then that timeline and those milestones are going to be a lot more, they're going to be a lot closer in terms of, when things need to take place. So if Katisha's starting a new catering business in the next 30 days, then now is the time to ensure that pre-launch marketing is already done. It's time to, ensure that if there are any forms that are needed for clients, like contracts and those things, that those things are already created. The website should already be up and going. She can start pre-booking. If there aren't any automated systems that are available to book a catering event, maybe those automated systems can be, created. There's a lot of different tools that have that. Having a date, as Dr. Ebony said, for the launch party, so there's a lot of things that can be done pre-launch to ensure the success. And I would even encourage you to create a targeted goal for the business itself. I know you don't want to just launch the business, but I know you want to have a successful business. So identify whether or not you want to have 10 clients booked within the first 3 days of launch, or if you have a dollar amount that you actually want to achieve in catering services within the first, 30 days. So create those goals for yourself as well. And so it's wonderful to ensure that you're thinking about all those things. And, I would even encourage you to consider doing some informational interviews with caterers who live in another state and ask some things that were lessons learned for them so that you can capitalize on some things that may have been efficient and, have some insight from things that maybe were not so efficient so that you can ensure even more success with your new catering business. So we're going to go through those milestones and how to do that. And we have some tips for you in the chat, Katisha, but whatever your goal is, you'll have an opportunity to craft the specific objectives and the goals within those goals. And so when you're thinking about goals, you want to think about any growth goals that you have. So when you do that, you want to look at the SMART model. You want a goal that is specific, that's measurable, that's achievable, that's relevant, and that's time bound. And so when you're putting together your goal, what specifically is the goal? When do you want to do this by? Why do you want to do this? Who else or what other entities might be involved? All of these things are important. What's your how? So you think about the who, what, when, where, how, why. All of those things go into the SMART goal model, and it's good for you to ensure all of those things are identified so that you can clearly create the strategy that you need to achieve that goal. And so once you have the big overarching goal, you then identify what are the smaller goals that fall under that goal. So if you plan to, we'll use the example from Katisha again, you plan to launch a catering business within the next 30 days. Well, then you may have a goal to have a launch party. You may have a goal to have a venue, which you've already done. So there's a lot of things, smaller goals that go within that larger goal. And then once you have the smaller goals, you write out the tasks that are associated with the smaller goal. And then that allows you to create an actionable plan that will help you to implement those strategies so that you can achieve the goals that you have set. And so I'll turn it over to Dr. Ebony just to share any other insight that she would like to share.
Yes, and I see my name twin. Hi, Ebony Willer. And again, thank you. We appreciate, this is a gift to us, right? To be able to give back to you and to be able to support and provide you all of this insight. And one thing about Katisha, right? She's one of my partners, one of my teammates. So when we're talking about growth, when we're talking about launching the catering business, right? This is personal because I want to see her win. So she's part of that $25 million strategy, because guess what? With all these transitions, with all these events happening, right? Because Baltimore is prominent, Virginia is prominent, all these different locations are prominent, right? I can say, oh, Katisha, I would love to partner. Here's an event. We need, your catering opportunities, or we need your catering skills for XYZ event. So now I know I have a person that I can go to, that I can trust, that I can rely on in order to provide catering to all these different events and activities that are about to go on, whether it's politically, whether it's personally, whether it's events in arts, right? Because you see Baltimore is popping with the African American Festival, the Jazz Festival, the Reggae Festival. Now I know if I want to go after those contracts, right, in those communities, I have a person or partner in order to achieve that. And speaking of large events, right, we have big events like the Super Bowl coming up, right? They need caterers for the Super Bowl. We have the PGA tournament. They need caterers and event planners for those distinct events. So that is how you can purposefully partner with people to pursue these different contracts and opportunity. And I have a person that's ready. She's going to go. She's going to have all her certificates and the what's it called, serve safe and everything required. So all I would have to do is partner and say, we have this opportunity. I would love for you to partner with me so we can pursue it. Tonda, the same thing. Hi, Tonda. How are you? And again, one thing about Tonda is also an event planner and has all of these distinct connections, right, and resources. So I know I have strong people that I can partner with to pursue these big opportunities like the Essence Music Festival, the Super Bowl, the PGA tournaments, the World Cup that's coming up. Why wouldn't I partner with them? So when we talk about the road to 25 million, it's very purposeful. And when we talk about a growth strategy, you see how it's not just me by myself. No, I have partners that I can pursue these opportunities with. So that's part of my growth strategy, aligning myself with people that I can trust, that can rely on me, and I can rely on them in order to grow towards that 25 million.
Absolutely. And as we continue on, we are, getting into how to set the clear milestone. So again, you have to have a succinct timeline that's associated with achieving your goal. And you want to ensure that you have all of the milestones that are necessary for you to achieve not just the overall, goal, but the goals that fall within that overall goal. So that is very, very, very important. We're going to look at just an example. And I do want to point out that you're not going to just have the month, you're going to have the day and year as well. But this is just illustrated just to show this is what you need to ensure that you have. And, you don't have to lay it out this way. You can lay it out on a vertical timeline, a horizontal timeline. It doesn't matter. You just need something to illustrate what you have planned and the milestones that you need to achieve for the major goal and for the goals that fall under that goal and for the tasks that are associated with the primary goal and the sub goals. So you want to make sure that all of the milestones that are necessary to achieve that goal, that they're clearly defined. You need the specifics. Again, having something in writing, you're more likely to achieve what you're desiring by putting it on paper, because it gives you something that you can go after.
Look, let me interrupt you real quick, Dr. Dobson, because I want to spotlight Megan. So speaking of everything that you're talking about, like she took our comments, our feedback, and came back with this dynamic goal, right? By December 31st, 2025, our vision is to open a business development center that will equip single moms who work 9 to 5s but are called to entrepreneurship with the resources, mentorship, and training needed to build profitable businesses. We will provide strategic support in business development and economic stability programs, creating a pathway to financial independence and generational wealth. That is very clear, very distinct. So now if I want to partner with you, I understand exactly how I can support you, right? You have two potential partners on this call, Dr. Dobson and I. Also, I understand if I want to provide you funding, right? Grant funding is very clear who I'm supporting, right? Single mothers who work the 9 to 5s. Maybe I'm a single mother, right? Maybe April's a single mother. So now I'm relating, right? You're hitting my heartstrings because perhaps your program is supporting me or someone I know. So therefore, I'm going to support you, but it's very measurable. And again, as you're going through this journey and creating your timeline and accomplishing your milestones, now you understand your why. You can go back to your why to keep you pushing. And major shout out to Miss Lindsay Kinslow, who's one of my accountability partners. She holds me accountable, holds me to the fire. She doesn't play with me. But one thing about Lindsay is she's very purposeful. So she actually launched her nonprofit, Vet Reset, right? In order to provide resources to veterans. She is going to be blowing up doing all types of things. Not only did she launch her nonprofit, but she's strategically aligned, right? Serving with a state delegate. So now, not only did she launch her nonprofit, she's aligned politically, right? She's the veteran voice, right? Serving as one of the veteran voices, the advocates for us all throughout Maryland. That is powerful because not only do you have your nonprofit, but you're the trusted veteran advisor to political officials. How beautiful is that? How that the fact that she's able to align her passion and her purpose and to launch that nonprofit, she'll be able to get all the support the financial resources, and now she has the validity, right? In order to and she has proven experience, right? Helping veterans, even like myself, to get that 100% disability, like helping us with our medical disability claims. So Lindsay is already, she's not just talking the talk, she's actually executed. So my question to Ms. Lindsay would be, okay, what is your goals for 2025, right? What goals do you hope to accomplish for 2025? Megan, I have no doubt that you're going to not only knock out your goals, but the fact that you've clearly aligned, now you can start looking at what steps do I need to take in order to achieve this goal by December 31st? And what's my timeline, right? Step by step in order to accomplish this goal.
Absolutely. And, the other thing she mentioned, highlighting single moms who are called to entrepreneurship. So that creates a whole nother target audience for partners, because some people have a desire to help people who desire to be entrepreneurs. So it's very important that you are succinct with outlining that vision. And so thank you, Megan, for using the feedback that we gave you here on this webinar to craft a specific vision for yourself. And now we see that Ebony Wheeler has her goal to get crystal clear on the vision for my yoga and mindfulness business, secure more corporate contracts and private clientele. It's time to get super serious and intentional about my next steps. I don't want to have to lean on someone else's studio to succeed in this industry. And, thank you, Ebony, for that transparency and for putting that out there. Dr. Gray and I were just talking yesterday about opportunities for people who were in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. There's space that you can utilize for 6 months as a business owner at no cost to you to incubate your business, grow your business. So please work with Dr. Ebony.
Yes, wait, I couldn't wait to pipe in on this one. So Ebony Wheeler, right? I know you well. I have been a recipient of your healing powers, right, at your yoga retreats, and I know you're great at what you do. My question to you is, why don't you have a facility, right? And the thing is, there are opportunities for brick and mortar establishments just like yourself to be able to invest. So I'll use Baltimore as an example. So Baltimore had a program where they pay your rent for 12 months. Essentially, if you are a brick and mortar establishment, and I'm not sure if they have funding still, but this was a real life program for 12, I believe it was 12 to 18 months of paying rent for brick and mortar establishments. So imagine how much space and room that you would have to grow if you had the city or your county pay your rent for 18 months to invest in your business. So you don't even have to think about that part. All you have to think about is being forward facing and providing those services. Those are things that are offered to you. So I would highly recommend that you reach out to your economic development center. So whether it's Prince George's County Economic Development Center, I work closely with Arlington Economic Development Center and Alexandria Economic Development Center. They have money, they have resources. They also are very aware of the commercial space in your landscape, grant programs and funding. They can help and support you so you don't have to be on this island by yourself. So you may be thinking a stuck point, right? Like, oh my gosh, how am I going to find commercial property? But in your vision, right? That's why we're telling everybody that watches this, put your vision out there, because we probably can help you. Another shout out, I have to say this for my people in Bowie. And Nana, if you're listening, I want you to send this out to some of your people. Bowie has like a program that they're about to launch to help shop owners. So if you have like candles or any type of product, they are going to help you and offer you 6 months of space to be able to sell your products at no cost, right? It's an incubator program. So that's an opportunity. I need like 8 people to sign up. So I'll be putting out more information, but these are the type of resources. And Ebony Wheeler, for your yoga business, when you talk about corporate contracts, What are we all undergoing right now? Stress. We're stressed. We need your help. We need wellness. So you would be a perfect partner for a lot of these corporate agencies. And I'm talking federal. I'm talking corporate like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, or your local businesses to offer yoga and mindfulness. The federal government has like wellness days that hasn't been cut. We still have the wellness days. So perhaps you can do a micro contract, and I'm talking 10,000 and below, to be able to offer like wellness workshops, yoga, mindfulness to federal employees. Why not? Like, this is the perfect time. I would tell you, connect with me, right? So we can talk about maybe a plan of action to get you into that commercial space, right? And to get you more of those corporate, federal, and private contracts so you can grow your business. And I know that you can follow through because I've experienced it, right? You have the experience and the expertise. So I always say closed mouths don't get fed. So everybody on this feed, I appreciate you, right? Putting yourselves out there because we have a network and support system to actually help you get to the next level.
Yes. And I want to say to connect with me, I want to just drop a few things for you to consider. The nature of the business that you have, you can offer so many things virtually because you are doing yoga. You could go out on Eventbrite, create an event for a live virtual yoga session, put in the details, what they need to come prepared to the virtual session with, already have a yoga mat, the type of attire they should be wearing, these things, and you can charge them whatever your fee is for the virtual yoga session, because some people are stressed, they're busy, but they feel they can't add the time to commute back and forth to a place to go to a yoga session. You can offer that from home. You can also package some of your yoga sessions, record them, and sell it. There are so many things that you can do. And then if you are allowing people to use their flexible spending accounts, flexible health accounts, any type of insurance, you may want to consider, or if it's just a flat rate pay, consider taking a look at Saha Collective. I recently interviewed on my talk show the founder and CEO of Saha Collective, who started an organization to match make patients with healthcare practitioners. It doesn't cost anything for the healthcare practitioner and the patient to be on the platform. For each appointment that is booked through the platform, there's a 2% amount, if I'm recalling correctly, that is deducted from the appointment, or that is assessed on the appointment to give back to people who can't afford healthcare. So I just put that in the chat. But there's ways to think outside the box. That's all I'm going to say about that. And we'll move on so we can get through the rest of our content, because we only have about 9 minutes left and we want to make sure we give time to answer all of your questions. So, the other tip with the milestones is making sure that you have definitive target dates. We cannot stress this enough. It needs to be a specific date, month, day, and year, and the details of that milestone need to be clearly articulated. Because if it's not clearly articulated and you don't have a date, you may not get to it. Again, these months should have a day and a year, but for all intents and purposes, we know this is all for 2025, so you should have the date as well. You want to make sure that you list all of the milestones, regardless of whether you do a vertical or a horizontal timeline. You want to make sure it's listed in order of precedence and priority. So what comes first in, the line of, how you need to accomplish it. If you're planning on launching a catering business, then you would not want to have the launch party. You wouldn't want that to appear on the milestones before you list execute the first catering contract, right? Maybe, you probably want to have the right, because if you're going to actually provide the business services, you've already booked the client, maybe you want to have your lunch party sooner. And I know that was just a random, example, but there are certain things that should occur in order of succession. You probably don't want to put your website out there if you don't have a contract that you can give people to enter into a contract, right? There are certain things that it's probably better to do before doing the other thing.
And you can use AI, right, to help you with this. So say, for instance, you say, I want to launch my catering business in the next 6 months. So then you can use ChatGPT, Claude AI, Perplexity, Gemini, or Copilot, right? All of these AI tools, and just say, I want to launch my catering business within the next 6 months. Please create for me milestones in order to achieve this goal. And guess what? It will list it out, and you can be very specific. So please create the milestones and provide the date, the time, when I can accomplish each of these milestones in order to achieve that goal to launch my catering business. Or I want to open my yoga studio within the next year, right? By December 31st, 2025. Please lay out for me step by step each of the milestones with the specific date and what resources and budget I will need in order to accomplish this goal by December 31st, 2025. AI, ChatGPT is one of my faves, but again, Perplexity, Claude, it will lay it out step by step for you so you can clearly see your goals. So you don't even have to overthink it, and then you can tweak it according to your specific needs.
Absolutely. And then you want to think about succession planning. And, when you list those milestones, maybe you are the only person who's working, with your new organization that you're launching, but you should already have a plan. What are the things and the events that are going to take place before you need to either add part-time staff, full-time staff, independent contractors? You want to think about that. So you can do that based on certain events. You can do that based on reaching a certain amount of revenue. So you have to have that identified to know when it's time to actually add employees or independent contractors to your company. And also, anyone who starts a business, you're not just starting this business to only exist during your lifetime. You want legacy, right? So you want this business to continue on beyond, your time on the earth. So what's your plan for succession? How are you going to identify the next, CEO, COO? What is the plan for that? Are you going to retire yourself? Do you have plans to franchise? Do you have plans to sell the business? What are your goals? How are you looking at legacy? So think about the succession planning piece, and you want to consider and factor in, the required completion time. Some things are only going to take a few minutes. Some things may take weeks and days. It may only take you, 20 minutes to schedule a course or schedule a meeting to do an informational interview. But if you're planning to finish a certification, that might be a 2-month process, right? So you want to make sure that you're factoring those things in, and things that take a longer period of time to complete should appear several times on your timeline with your milestones. So you want to make sure that you're doing that, and that all the associated tasks are also listed by date. Dr. Ebony, do you have anything to add to that before we move on to the next piece?
No, I am typing some chat prompts in the chat. And again, that is one of my goals, right? To achieve the certified federal contract manager by March 2025. So I would ask ChatGPT, lay out a plan for me step by step with the milestones and the dates in order to achieve that goal of getting the certified federal contract manager certification by March 30th, 2025.
That's great. So now we're going to get into creating your own vision board. So this is kind of recapping some of the things that we've said before. So I see some of you put this in the chat, but if you haven't, this should be written on your notes. What is your unique vision statement? You want to remember, like we said before, that vision statement should be clear. It should be succinct. You should articulate and identify what your desired outcomes are. And you should also make sure that you have your growth goals, your specific growth goals using the SMART model. It's specific, measurable, it's achievable, it's realistic, and it's time bound. And what's your growth strategy? What do you need to implement to make sure that you achieve those goals? The big overarching goal, the smaller goals, and then the tasks that are associated with the goals. So we have created for you all just a tool. It's a sample. You can create your own using PowerPoint. You can create it in Word, a future focus 2025, your vision board and strategy. So somewhere on it, you should have your 2025 strategy. We created space down here that you can put this. You can screenshot this, and I'm going to get to one that has a lot of the images taken off, but you can screenshot this. So what's your specific strategic significant goal? How is it measurable? How are you going to be motivated to do it? What's meaningful? How is it achievable? How is it attainable? How is it relevant to the overall big picture? What's your why? And then what's your timeline? So, and then we want you to put some pictures on your vision board that kind of motivate you and inspire you to achieve what it is. We love some blank lines here. You know, let's travel, let's cook, whatever it is that you want to do. So this is just something to see kind of what it's going to look like, but you can screenshot this one, and then you can use PowerPoint to put your pictures on the blank spaces for pictures, or put pictures over the pictures that we have, and you can use text to put it inside the lines. So go ahead and screenshot this so that you can use it to create your own 2025 vision board and your strategy for 2025. Because if you don't have it in writing, you don't have it written down, chances are it's not going to happen. So we want you to screenshot it. We didn't have time to get through allowing you to complete this today, but we do want you to take the time to sit down tonight, and complete your own vision board and write in your own strategy for 2025, because we want you all to have success, both professionally, personally. And so you want your growth areas, you want your professional goals, you want your personal goals, whatever they are, and have those clearly articulated on your vision board. So we are your future focus facilitators. Dr. Ebony Grey, she's the CEO of Grey's Consulting. I'm Dr. April Dobson, the CEO of Purpose Today Global. We're very excited and grateful and thankful that you all are here. We know we're going to see all of you at the top, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Ebony for any final comments that she has.
Yeah, so again, I am one of the Canva queens, right? And I see Nina Carr, who also joined us. She is the Canva queen extraordinaire. You can go to Canva and look up vision boards, right? To find one that's distinct and unique to you. So go to Canva, look up vision boards, and create your vision board. Now, for me personally, I like to think about all aspects of my life, which is personal, right? So what do I hope to achieve personal, right? Whether it's marriage, love, children, whatever it is, family and relationships, financial. What are my financial goals, right? It could be to save $25,000 for this year by December 31st. It could be work, right? Professional goals. And of course, all of our favorites, right? Fitness. What is your fitness and health goals? Those are some of the important goals that I establish every year. And typically I accomplish about 90% of those goals that I put on my vision board. So every year I do create that virtual vision board through Canva. So look up vision board on Canva, or you can create it with your phone. Just put together a photo collage, right, of different pictures that you envision for your life. And of course, you can always do old school. Pull out that cardboard paper, right? Your poster board, and create a vision board, right? Of various aspects of your life using the magazines. You paste them. You can be as creative as you want, and then put that board someplace where you can see. If you do the virtual vision board, you can put it on your phone. So I use it as my screensaver, so I can see my vision every single day to know that I'm working towards those goals. And then from my vision board, I transfer that over to paper and say, well, what is each of the goals that I hope to accomplish? And then I develop my actual annual action plan to work towards for each year. So my annual action plan for 2025. So again, it's myself and Dr. April Dobson. If you enjoyed this, please comment, tell all your friends, make sure that you reshare, right? Repost. to let people know, right? If this session was valuable to you, share with everyone. Continue to follow us and let us know your thoughts about our session tonight.
And we want to thank you again. We know so many people are joining us from around the world. And we just want to give special recognition to those who were our top engagers. You were very good with engaging with us in the chat. So Joe Reddix, Tara Jones Cooper, Ebony Wheeler, Megan Island, Katisha, Lindsay, and Nina. So thank you all for engaging. And I see some comments coming in saying that this was amazing and thank you. So you all are very welcome. It was our pleasure to do so. And we are looking forward to hearing all your success stories on how you have achieved your personal, professional, relationship, financial goals in 2025.
Thank you, everyone. And we hope to see you accomplish all of your goals in 2025. So please, definitely, as you accomplish your goals, as you create your vision board, make sure you tag us in all the great things that you're doing. But thank you so much for your continued support, and look for more lives from us, right? Because we're trying to get your lives together. So thank you for all your support. We truly appreciate you.
Thank you. Have an amazing week, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.